Mr. Sanjeev, Secretary, DPIIT, who's looking after Startup India, whom I would love to acknowledge individually for the very, very deep insights and humongous contribution that each one of you in this room has given towards the success of Startup Mahakumbh in its second edition. I won't take names, but I do hope each one of you in this room is extremely successful in your life, because what you have done for the country, the contribution, the sacrifices that all the organizing committee members on the stage, off the stage, the entire team which has spent relentless hours, day in and day out. मुझे भी काफ़ी कुछ झेला इन सब ने, और आसान नहीं है मुझे झेलना, काफ़ी कुछ डांट डूट भी पड़ जाती है. But truly what you all have done is remarkable, and a big round of applause to the entire organizing committee. The very purpose of this Startup Mahakumbh is all of you young men and women, ladies and gentlemen, participants of the Startup Expo, all of those who have come in from far and wide to showcase what good work you have done. A big congratulations to each and every of the 3,000 participants. As I was seeing the video, and I recalled that this whole idea of Startup India was launched in 2016 from Vigyan Bhavan. That used to be India's premier location for all grand functions. All major functions where the president, the vice president, or the honorable prime minister, any of our honorable dignitaries was attending, they were all being held at Vigyan Bhavan. Look at the metamorphosis between 2016 and today, when we are assembled in this grand premises at Bharat Mandapam. That is the changing landscape of new India that we are all witnessing. Incidentally, now we don't have one, but two equally big and equally grand convention cum exhibition centers, Bharat Mandapam and Yashobhumi in Dwarka. आपने सुना होगा भारत मोबिलिटी, भारत टेक्स, हमारा फूड एग्जीबिशन, ये सब जो हो रहे हैं अभी 6 डिजिट एरिया में होते हैं. आप अभी भी 5 डिजिट एरिया में हो. 1 लाख स्क्वायर मीटर के नीचे आजकल भारत में कोई एग्जीबिशन होती नहीं है. और हमारा साइज, हमारी स्केल, हमारी अंतरराष्ट्रीय व्यापक जो पोजीशनिंग है, India today is not taken lightly. We are the world's 5th largest GDP. Before the end of calendar 25, we'll be the world's 4th largest GDP. And by 2027, the 3rd largest economy in the world, just 2.5 years from now, overtaking Japan and then Germany. अब इतना बड़ा अगर हमारी छलांग लगाने की ताकत भी है, हिम्मत भी है और संकल्प भी है, पर ये जो चेंजिंग माइंडसेट है, this is best reflected at the Startup Mahakumbh. Truly, what the organizers have done in a short span of 2 years is unbelievable. Who could have imagined when in 2023, so first week of November, Sanjeev Bikhchandani and a team, Archana and all of them had set up a slush type event at the Oberoi in Gurugram, which I had attended. Excellent program, beautifully organized, But you can imagine at a Oberoi hotel, five-star hotel, how much space, how much participation was possible. But the energy in that room, when I attended the program in November 23, was truly captivating. And I think there from the dais, I had said that within the next 6 months, we should have the largest startup event that India has ever had in Delhi. And I must say, Sanjeev, Prakash, and a lot of our other friends in the room, they got down to working on Startup Mahakumbh. When we had the first edition of Startup Mahakumbh, and it was in a smaller area, probably 10 or 15,000 square meters. But it was truly remarkable. It was beyond what we had expected. And as most people who have worked with me at any point of time, and I think somebody who works with me once always prays and wishes he doesn't have to work with me a second time. That's the impression most officers give me. Arvind, why are you so surprised? But anyway, from the dais at the event in Oberoi, I demanded the largest event to be held in 6 months. This team delivered. We had an outstanding Startup Mahakumbh last year, which was inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister. Spent a lot of time meeting up with the startups, interacting with them. Truly inspired all of us. And we were about 3,000-4,000 of us at that time. And I must say, the challenge for Startup Mahakumbh 2 was almost taken up from the dais of Startup Mahakumbh 1. And what we have today is 3 times bigger, 3 times as many participants in terms of exhibitors. And from the numbers that we are hearing of today, at least, if not more, 3 times the number of visitors coming to see the Startup Mahakumbh this time. It's very appropriate you've elected Narendra Modi for the 3rd term. And he had promised you that he'll work 3 times harder, with 3 times greater speed. He'll work for 3 times bigger outcomes. And I think it's only in the fitness of things that as I stand on this dais, I should be demanding for the 3rd Startup Mahakumbh. And the fantastic work that our Defense Department Ministry has done is also a story in itself. Our exports today are 20 times more than what they were 10 years ago. Almost $3 billion, 25,000 crores exports in the year ended day before yesterday on 31st March. And I'm sure the current year's target with Rajesh ji being there would be equally ambitious for significant growth in the years to come. Our defense production is ramping up significantly. We are getting more and more Atmanirbhar, self-reliant for our defense needs. And at the same time, we are having collaborations and partnerships with the best in the world so that our defense preparedness becomes truly world-class. And nobody कोई हमारी तरफ आंख उठा के कभी देखने की हिम्मत भी ना कर सके. देखिए, it's all in the mind. It's a mind game. After all, अगर आपके mindset में success नहीं होता, तो आप सब यहाँ पे बैठे नहीं होते, आप सब startup की दुनिया से जुड़े नहीं होते. It's all over here. हिम्मत भी होनी चाहिए, अपने ऊपर आत्मविश्वास भी होना चाहिए, अपनी काबिलियत के ऊपर भरोसा होना चाहिए, और दुनिया की कोई ताकत नहीं है जो हमको सफल होने से रोकेगी नहीं. I have a lot of nice things I can talk to you, but I want to put up a slide which a friend sent me 3 days ago. It disturbed me a lot. And my reply to him was very inspiring. Why I'm telling you what my reply to this was, because I want each one of you to go back with this slide in your mind. And I hope each one of you will take an inspiration from this slide. If it's small in print, what I would urge the organizers to do is actually put up a big board of this somewhere in the exhibition hall tomorrow morning. हो सकता है कि कोई लोग मेरी आलोचना भी कर सकते हैं कि तुम दूसरे देश से क्यों कंपेयर कर रहे हो. मुझे कोई आपत्ति नहीं है. हमने सीखना होता है. After all, we are the world's third largest startup ecosystem. But I'm sure each one of you aspires that India should be the world's largest startup ecosystem. We have the world's largest STEM graduates coming out of India, year on year. And 43% of them are our sisters and daughters. And there's no reason why this slide cannot be a foreteller of the future for us. What are India's startups doing today? We are focused on food delivery apps, turning unemployed youth into cheap labor so the rich can get their meals without moving out of their house. And against that, what does a Chinese startup do? Work on developing electric mobility, battery technologies, and with that, they're today dominating the electric mobility ecosystem. We are very proud of what India has done. But are we the best in the world as yet? Not yet. Should we aspire to be? Or are we going to be happy being delivery boys and girls? Look at the second one. I've been going through a lot of our startup success stories. And when I go all over the country, we often have startup presenting to us what work they're doing. Fancy ice cream and cookies. In fact, I know at least 3 or 4 billionaires whose children make on one brand or the other very fancy ice creams and cookies and run a very successful business, and I have no complaint against that. But is that the destiny of India? क्या भारत का भविष्य उससे संतुष्ट है? Healthy ice cream, zero gluten free, whatever, I don't know, vegan, ये सब शब्द लगा के अच्छी पैकेजिंग करके हम स्टार्टअप बोलते हैं अपने आप को. ये स्टार्टअप नहीं है, ये एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप है, ये बिजनेस है. दूसरी तरफ सेमीकंडक्टर्स में ग्रोथ हो रही है. आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस खुद की अपने देश की बन रही है लोगों की. दे आर इन्वेस्टिंग हेविली टू बिकम सेल्फ रिलायंट, building chips, AI models, which will prepare the nation for the future. भारत ने क्या करना है? आइसक्रीम बनानी है या चिप्स बनाने हैं? उसके लिए हम सबको हिम्मत करनी पड़ेगी. और ये इतना ही मैं इन्वेस्टर्स को भी कह रहा हूं. Instant grocery delivery, latest hot on the block. I have no problems. He can list at a few $1 billion. I'm very happy. I only wish it had more Indian investors rather than the foreigners buying off all our startups. And ये सिद्धार्थ आप सबके लिए चेतावनी है. We need more Indian investors into the game. Again, of course, I won't comment on what it's making people and how our resources are going only towards hyper-fast logistics. And look at what the other side is doing. Robotics, automation, machine learning, preparing themselves for 3D manufacturing, next-gen factories that are more efficient and that compete with the rest of the world and capture markets. हम रोते रह सकते हैं. चॉइस हमारी है. यहाँ युवा पीढ़ी होने के कारण मैंने ये पुटअप किया. Are we as the future of India? और 2047 में शायद भुवनेश्वर को छोड़ के मे बी मैडम हम में से तो और कोई नहीं होगा. फ्रंट रो के भी इस तरफ के लोग छोड़ दो तो उस तरफ के लोग तो शायद नहीं होंगे. अमन यार तेरे को बाहर रख रहा हूं. y'all are the sculptors of New India. You have to make Viksit Bharat 2047 happen. And that is eminently possible when we start looking at the right side of that chart, which we'll put up at the exhibition hall. We'll need to go global. We'll need to think big. We'll need to be ambitious. We'll need to experiment. We'll need to go beyond the boundaries of our own thinking. Let's not limit ourselves with the past. Let's explore the unknown. And frankly, when we look at deep tech, and when I see the numbers are still probably 1,000 companies, 1,000 startups in the deep tech ecosystem, it is a disturbing sign. Wealth creation in the short run may happen with some of these conveniences. पर दुकानदारी का ही काम करना है हमें, या विश्वव्यापी और इंटरनेशनल स्केल का भारत की पहचान बनानी है. That, friends, is the choice before us. We may do all sorts of international trade agreements, and today under Prime Minister Modi's guidance and leadership, we are not aiming small. We are not looking at agreements with countries who are in a situation which is even worse than what India is in. That used to be the Congress culture. They would do agreements with countries like, who are much weaker than us. What Modi ji does is agreements with Australia. We are aspiring to do an agreement with EU, the 27-nation bloc, with UK, with USA, with Peru, with Chile, with Australia, with New Zealand, with Oman, with Bahrain, Qatar. Our ambitions are to compete with the best in the world. With every one of them, we talk of a startup bridge. But I can't take to them grocery stores and say this is India's offering for startups. I still remember Mr. Vajpayee when he was Prime Minister, and he had added to the old famous words of Lal Bahadur Shastri, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. He had said Jai Vigyan, science. Jai Kisan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan. What Modi ji has added is Jai Anusandhan, that's innovation. And unless India gets recognized across the world as a nation that has developed the spirit of inquiry in every child born in this country. Why do you think we are adding 50,000 Atal Tinkering Labs? I think this budget announced that, right? Because at the school stage, we want our children to develop that inquisitiveness, that desire to explore the impossible, that desire to be creative, to think out of the box, to be innovative. I had requested that we should get all the incubators from all over the country because it's inspirational to see the wonderful work the startups who have participated in Startup Mahakumbh are showcasing. Today I have a call and another program. Parliament is passing a bill, the Umeed Bill, where we are finally going to give justice to our Muslim brothers and sisters for whose sake the waqfs are created, but sadly over the years have become a medium of misuse. We are passing that bill in the Rajya Sabha today and bringing in important amendments, and that bill is called Umeed. ये उम्मीद, ये सहारा बनेगा उन गरीब लोगों का जिनके लिए किसी व्यक्ति ने अपने देहांत के टाइम पे कुछ ट्रस्ट क्रिएट किया, कुछ वक्फ क्रिएट किया, गरीबों का भला हो, गरीबों को कुछ लाभ मिले, गरीबों को शिक्षा मिले, गरीबों का स्वास्थ्य हो और साथ ही साथ धर्म का भी उनका प्रभाव बढ़े। इन सब कामों के लिए वक्फ बने थे। आस्ते 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 करके मिसयूज का साधन बन गए। मुझे लगता है हमको इतनी सारी चीजें विरासत में मिली थी कि आधा समय जाता है पुरानी बीमारियों को ठीक करने का, आधा समय जाता है आप सबको इंस्पायर करके देश को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए। And I'm looking forward to a wonderful journey that you have gone through and making that a part of my life as I meet each one of you tomorrow. But I can assure you that we stand committed to your success. It may happen that occasionally one or two may not be successful, but I have asked the organizers that we have that platform, Bhaskar. In the Bhaskar platform, I would like them to add a module for those who may not have succeeded, for handholding them, for taking care of them, for the rest of their journey. And this thought came to me only a month ago or 20 days ago. Some of you may have heard of Chakra Innovation. Srivastav hai na koi? Krishna Srivastav. He had come and he had showcased some of his innovative work to me in Vanijya Bhavan. And while I was talking to him, he mentioned about somebody who had not been as successful as him and was going through a depression. And I realized कि हम भाषण तो बहुत दे देते हैं, पर हमने उनके लिए कभी कुछ सोचा नहीं कि कुछ ठोस करें। और हम भी ऐसे ही सीखते हैं, आप लोग से मिल मिल के सीखते हैं। हमको कोई भंडार बाहर से कोई इंपोर्ट नहीं किया हमने भी यहाँ पे। आप लोग को मिलते हैं, आपके कुछ विचार आते हैं, उसमें से हम सीखते हैं। And I realized that amongst all our startup work, I think we have given a lot of good updesh or sermons to somebody who may not have been very successful. But let's now, Prashant, create something to handhold those who are not successful. Encourage him to try again. Maybe help him find his roots. And that should be the takeaway of Startup Mahakumbh too. I believe almost 1,500 budding startups, 1,500 pods have been given free of charge. Every district in the country should be present at the next Startup Mahakumbh. And if you are expecting about 100,000 visitors looking at today's number this time, I hope the next edition we can look at a number of at least 500,000 visitors coming to Startup Mahakumbh. And that should not be all Delhi or Delhi based or NCR based. Let's try and encourage children from across the country. Maybe a way to get this message across the country. Every college around the country, we run a competition from early on and select 5 children who have a bent of mind towards innovation and get 5 children from maybe 5,000 colleges all over the country to come and visit the Startup Mahakumbh. Maybe we see if we can get every incubator, and we have 1,000+ incubators, to try and send their startup to come. Many will participate with stalls or pods, whatever, and many would like to come and see. I'm told we have 1,000 investors this time around. And I'll have a room full of investors. I'll get Prime Minister Modi to come for that. And if you call 3,000 investors and 5,000 startups of eminence whom we call in the room, then we can have the function at Yashobhumi, where we have a convention center which can accommodate 7,000 people in one venue. So let's think big. Let's be bold. And I tell you, जब ये inauguration की बात कर रहे थे, मैंने actually पूछा कि आएगा कौन ये, इससे जो बार बार ये organic की बात कर रहे हैं ना, मैंने पूछा था कि काय के लिए inauguration का function कर रहे हैं, वहाँ पे सीधा I'll come and visit. But they wanted me to come and interact with you. I'm glad I came. I'm truly glad I came and I got to meet such a wonderful set of enthusiasts who believe in Startup India. The Startup Maharti is also a very good initiative. I believe they've collected a 50 crore fund, which is going to be India's largest private funded challenge of 50 crores, which will be dispersed through the Startup Maharti program. We have the NCIIPC Startup AI Challenge, which you are running, which will be another 20 crores. So that's 70 crores in terms of challenge money going to encourage new young startups. What will be the target for next year? At least 500 crores. Defense can pitch in a little bit. Defense also, the startup ecosystem is growing. NASSCOM should pitch in a little bit. Get hold of NASSCOM on the table. Then get hold of all the tech areas, semiconductors and AI. So we have Micron coming in, we have advanced applied materials, all these big companies. Let's get the private sector in a bigger way and create a really good pool of capital. And I promise you, actually 500 निकल गया मुंह से, 1000 बोलता तो 1000 crore हो जाता. Honestly, it's in the mind. Believe me, friends. हमें हिम्मत करने की जरूरत है. एक बार हमने ठान लिया कुछ करना है, हम जैसे ठान लेते हैं हमको चुनाव जीतना ही है. मेरा तो पहला लोकसभा चुनाव था. I was very scared. But got tons and tons of love and affection from Mumbai. Maybe you should do one program in Mumbai also. That will be a half-yearly program. But truly wonderful meeting all of you. For us, your success story is not counted as, let's say, an average revenue per unit, not an ARPU that we get out of the startups participating in this Startup Mahakumbh. For us, the ARPU is the accelerated rise in your prosperity, ARPU. The accelerated rise per unit, per startup, showing your prosperity. And if you are prosperous, if you are able to benefit from the 10,000 crores Startup Fund of Funds second edition that was announced in this budget, if some of you can benefit from that, grow, maintain your ownership. And I really feel very sad when I come to know that for the first 25 or 50 lakhs, some bright idea of a young startup got sold to a foreign company or got sold to one of these. I didn't use the word shark, did I? I didn't. But truly, let's try and get some more domestic capital coming into this ecosystem. I'd like to meet with all the unicorns. Prashant, again, your responsibility. Sanjeev, you also a unicorn, right? एक तो candidate यहाँ ही है. Aman Gupta is another unicorn. और कोई है यहाँ पे? अगली बार आएंगे ही नहीं program में, ऐसा हो जाएगा. All the unicorns, I want to make a public appeal to you. You contribute in a fund in India. Maybe ASSOCHAM is here, FICCI is here. ASSOCHAM is here. We have friends from CII also over here. Can we persuade some of the good Indian industry also to contribute? so that we can create pools of domestic capital. और मैं तो उम्मीद करूंगा कि हमारे भारत के इन्वेस्टर्स और हो सके तो इवन द फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स should be a little more benevolent, giving clawback to our founders, to the Indian young startups, so that they can get a respectable ownership of their work, of the good work that they are doing, or what they create. I think this will be my appeal to all investors in the room and beyond, to all those who have been involved with the startup ecosystem all these years, a little bit more of a little bigger heart towards the startup ecosystem. And I promise you, these young boys and girls can do wonders, and India can grow towards its mission of Viksit Bharat 2047 much faster, much better, much more creatively, with lots and lots of innovation. The hard work of our youth, coupled with your ability to spot talent, will transform the India growth story. We will not only rewrite the rules of the game of the past, but we will be creating unicorns of the future. We will be creating a new journey to the Startup India vision. Thank you very much.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to my Startup TV.